Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, February 16, 2024. Jamaica's national budget is now firmly in the trillion-dollar range, with total expenditure and payments for fiscal year 2024-2025 estimated at $1.3 trillion. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, tabled the estimates of expenditure for the upcoming financial year during yesterday's sitting of the House of Representatives. The $1.3 trillion spending budget is mostly comprised of non-debt recurrent expenditure of $769.9 billion, which includes $442 billion to conclude the implementation phase of the restructured compensation system for public sector workers. Wages and salaries are projected to represent 12.6% of GDP in the new fiscal year.
It is obvious, Madam Speaker, that the government has made a concerted effort to address historical challenges with public sector compensation, and now it is time to consolidate. As a country, we need to be careful to ensure that sufficient resources are left for growth-inducing capital expenditure, for programs that can enhance Jamaica's human capital, and for social expenditure on behalf of more vulnerable members of the Jamaican society.
The rest of the budget provides for debt service payments in the amount of $491.2 billion and capital expenditure of $80 billion. Minister Clark says improving human capital is a major theme in the disbursement of the capital expenditure budget, which includes milestone allocations for the modernization of a number of health facilities. He explains that the revenue expenditure profile meets the targeted positive fiscal balance of 0.3% of GDP as required under the recovery profile generated after the suspension of the fiscal rules in the 2020 to 2021 financial year.
Loan financing, Madam Speaker, is therefore programmed at $191 billion, and combined with the significant amortization amount, will contribute to a net reduction in the debt as we continue to work towards achievement of the legislative debt-to-GDP target of 60% or less.
Government's proposed expenditure package is to be financed by revenue and grant receipts of $1 trillion and loan and other financing of $0.3 trillion. The estimates will go before the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament from March 5 to 7 before the Finance Minister opens the budget debate on March 12. Government will be amplifying efforts to secure private sector interests in renewable energy generation in the new fiscal year. Last year, the Generation Procurement Entity invited tenders for the supply of up to 100 megawatts of electricity generation capacity for the national grid. In fiscal year 2024-2025, another request for proposal for a further 168 megawatts will be launched. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen made the announcement as he delivered the throne speech in Parliament yesterday.
The government will also continue its focus on rural electrification with the plan for full national access to electricity being accelerated over the next 5 years.
The Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport will also be placing increased focus on improved quality of service by telecommunications operators.
The Telecommunications Quality of Service Standards rules, which establish the formal framework for the parameters and targets against which operators' performance is measured, will be published.
During his 2024-2025 throne speech, the Governor-General also outlined government's plan for 21 additional water supply upgrading and expansion projects for the new fiscal year. These will have a projected expenditure of over $2.5 billion. They include the $77 million Rio Cobra treatment plant project, which is set to commence this year under a public-private partnership arrangement.
Once completed, this will provide an additional 15.5 million gallons of water daily to the Kingston metropolitan area, effectively ending the need for water lock-offs in the dry season in Kingston, St. Andrew, and Portmore.
In the current 2023-2024 fiscal year, 200,000 Jamaicans island-wide have benefited from water improvement projects costing some $4 billion. In other news, In a historic move aimed at streamlining and enhancing the electoral process, the Office of the Political Ombudsman has been subsumed into the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ. Following approval in both houses of Parliament, the Governor-General officially assented to the Act to amend the Political Ombudsman Interim Act 2024. It was subsequently gazetted on Tuesday, February 13, and is now law. The Office of the Political Ombudsman has played a vital role in overseeing and mediating political disputes to ensure fair and ethical conduct during elections. Government Senator Aubin Hill, who tabled the legislation in the upper house, asserted that consolidating this office with the ECJ would enhance public confidence in the electoral system by fostering greater accountability and responsiveness.
Because of the nationally recognized integrity and competence of the ECJ, no question about that, this commission is believed to be the most appropriate entity to undertake the work of the political ombudsman.
The move is also expected to yield a more streamlined and unified framework for handling electoral matters, improving coordination between various facets of the electoral process. And finally, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says Jamaica continues to make progress as the government remains committed to tackling organized crime and violence. He was addressing the second annual National Security Seminar held at the AC Hotel by Marriott in Kingston recently. The one-day event saw high-level government officials, law enforcement experts, and key local and international stakeholders gathered to address current and emerging threats to national security.
While we continue to pursue strong and innovative security measures, policies, and programs, we also prioritize and facilitate dialogue and knowledge exchange as important components.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.